ask you this. When was the last time you truly felt a victory in Call of Duty? I'm not talking about wins against clueless players. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually earning that win. The blood, sweat, and tears, the blisters on your fingers, the damage that was done to your controller because of the intense focus and the sheer will to win that game. When did you last have that feeling? The rush of outplaying someone in a fair fight. When you think about it, that feels good. Well, here's the truth. That feeling is fading. In fact, for many, it's almost gone. Cheating has crept into Call of Duty Black Ops 6 like a parasite, and it is threatening to destroy the very core of competitive gaming. But here's the twist. What have I told you? It's not just the cheaters who are to blame. Welcome back to the channel where we deep dive into the game's greatest triumphs and tragedies, and yes, the controversies. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something that I feel is a serious hot topic, and not just this topic, but a lot of different issues that's going on in the game. And we're going to talk about that in depth. And what am I referring to? I'm referring to the state of cheating in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 here in 2025. Now, if you've played Black Ops 6 for more than, several hours or, in any given amount of recent time, chances are you've encountered it, right? So you've encountered aimbots locking onto you from across the map. That's my personal favorite if I had to pick one out. You've experienced some sort of wall hacks exposing every time you move about the map. And also too, maybe in Warzone, you've experienced some sort of like a 360 no scope in the midair, taking you out from several yards away. Maybe you've experienced something crazy like that, right? But cheating isn't new to Call of Duty. It's been around since the franchise's early days. But here's the thing though. It's never this bad. It has never been this bad. With advancements in AI and machine learning, cheats have become more sophisticated, harder to detect, and easier to access. We're not just talking about amateurs downloading free hacks or anything like that. We're not talking about something like that. We're talking about more advanced hacks that are being used at some given point or something like that. That is way more advanced than it ever has been before. But let's dig in a little deeper. Why is Black Ops 6 such a hotbed for cheating? Why is that? And the answer lies in the game's design. So Treyarch has learned heavily into ranked and skill-based matchmaking systems, creating a competitive environment where players are desperate to climb the ranks. For some, the desperation turns into frustration, and frustration, well, it's the perfect breeding ground for shortcuts, unfortunately. And we see that a lot in rank play and in Warzone, and especially when it comes to skill-based matchmaking, which I can create an entire video based on skill-based matchmaking just by itself. But let's imagine something just for a second. Let's just say you're playing rank play and you're hard stuck in diamond ranked, but you've been grinding that for weeks, pouring hours into improving your aim, learning map rotations. Hell, you've been working on fine-tuning your loadout, but every time you're about to break through to iridescent or crimson, or hell, even the top 250, what tends to happen? A cheater shows up and ruins your match. It happens all too often. How long until you decide, after all of that, how long does it take for you to say, if I can't beat him, I'll just join him? How many of you have had that cross your mind? Let's be honest with ourselves. How many times have you thought about that? That's the vicious cycle that we're in right now, unfortunately. And the more people cheat, the more the rest of us are going to suffer. Ricochet, maybe that rings a bell. The one thing that you say is actually the one that's catching all these cheaters. I highly doubt it. Well, it's not cutting it. We see it all the time. It's not working. Sure, we see the occasional high profile ban wave, but it's like, and then two more cheaters pop up to replace everyone you take down. You ban 100,000 players, 100,000 more players will take their place, or those 100,000 plus players that you banned will turn around and create new accounts. It happens all the time. But why? Why does that happen? It's because the system isn't proactive, it's reactive. By the time the cheat is detected and patched, the damage has already been done. I can't tell you how many times I have mentioned we need a third-party cheat, some sort of a third-party cheat software that is 100% dedicated to catching cheaters. I think that is something that we really have to have in place for Call of Duty. And let's not forget about the bystanders. That's us. That's the legitimate players. That's me, and that's you. We're complicit in our silence. So every time we shrug off a cheater just as just another ruined match, it kind of just feels like we're normalizing that behavior. So every time we refuse to report a suspicious activity because it feels like it's a waste of time, we're letting it slide. Cheating thrives not on just because of those who do it, but because of those who let it happen. Now, obviously, when you see a cheater in this game, you're going to report it, right? Sometimes people spam report it. It does feel like a waste of time, but that's the only option that we have right now. So we have to be vigilant in that by itself. So what's the solution with all this? Is there even a way to even fix any of this when you really think about it? I think there is, but it's going to take a united effort, which if you haven't seen the efforts lately in the Call of Duty community, it feels like there's a lot of, you know, well-known streamers and players alike that are really bringing attention to this. And I think that's starting to kind of move the needle in our direction to make some major changes. Game developers, though, they need to step up their anti-cheat technology and enforce stricter penalties, especially for repeat offenders. So players need to hold each other accountable by doing what we've been doing. So reporting cheaters, calling out the toxicity in cheating, and refusing to use hacks, no matter how tempting it might be for us. Okay, we cannot turn to the dark side, so to say. And as a community, we need to start having honest conversations about why people cheat in the first place. I think that's important. Is it a lack of skill on their behalf? Is it like a desire for recognition, or maybe it's something deeper, a need to feel powerful in a world where they maybe typically don't, and they turn to cheating in video games because I think it makes them feel like they're more of a higher power in some way, shape, or form. And it's I think it's a psychological thing that we're seeing. I think it's just power. They love that power. But whatever the reasons is, we can't afford to ignore, you know, the issues that we've been seeing in this game, because if we do, Call of Duty in general, the game that we've loved for over 2 decades now, will become unrecognizable. And it's starting to feel like that's what's happening. And a battlefield not of skill, but of scripts. A game not of tactics, but of exploits. That's what it feels like we're heading towards. If you're tired of losing to cheaters like I am, like everyone else that has played this game, if you're tired of watching the community fall apart, and if you're tired of developers turning a blind eye, make sure you stick around with this channel, because we're going to talk a lot more about all of that. And we're going to talk about, you know, the causes, the consequences, and obviously more important, what are the solutions to fixing these issues, or just anything in general that Call of Duty might be experiencing right now. You know, we're gonna talk about it as a community, because right now, if we don't fight back, there might not be a Call of Duty we're playing in the future, and that would suck. Because I generally enjoy Call of Duty, and I know for those of you that have made it this far in the video, if you're hearing this right now, you're a true Call of Duty fan, and I appreciate you listening to me rant towards the end of this video. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you think that Call of Duty is on its way out the door and it's just, you know, doomed to fail? Or do you honestly think there's going to be some major changes coming up, and it's going to be for the good of the franchise? Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like the video too, and subscribe to the channel for more Call of Duty insights, not just on Call of Duty, but for anything gaming in general. Be sure to check it out. And until next time, we will see you all on the next video. I'm out.